If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me.
So good to me.
Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me.
So good to me.
Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me.
So good to me.
Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me.
So good to me.
Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me.
So good to me.
Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me.
So good to me.
Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me.
So good to me.
Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me.
So good to me.
Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me.
So good to me.
Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me.
So good to me.
Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me.
So good to me.
Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me.
So good to me.
Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me.
So good to me.
Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me.
So good to me.
Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me.
So good to me.
Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me.
So good to me.
Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me.
All praises to the Most High God. Come on, Israel, one more time. All praises to the Most High God. There it is. That's right. If you sitting up in here, the Spirit of the Most High, He's working with you, right? The scriptures say man's goings is of the Most High. I know a lot of us thought we decided to come tonight, but it's a spirit on you that made you present here tonight, and you obeyed that spirit, and I'm glad you did. So whether you're here in person or whether you're online, all praises to the Most High. This is True Nation Israelite Congregation's Open Sabbath class. The segment is called Room 144. Okay, so without further ado, tonight's lesson is titled Shepherds, Not Hirelings. Shepherds, not hirelings. All right, real quick. I need a couple definitions real quick. I need that shepherd definition. Let's do hireling first. Let's do hireling first. And then I need the definition of a shepherd. Go ahead and read that when you get it. What is a hireling? Because it's a difference. Okay. That's right. Let's get it. What you got? What source is that?
This is just dictionary, Oxford Dictionary. It says hireling, a person employed to undertake menial work.
Right. So a person that is employed is someone that is hired. Somebody for a hire. All right.
Check out the second part.
Go ahead.
It says a person who works purely for material reward.
Right. And what is that material reward? It's money. All right. So a lot of the times that's the motivation and that's the incentive, that money. Because if I was to take a poll and ask how many people in this world love what they do, there's only going to be a few that actually love what they do, right? Most are gonna say, you know what, I do what I gotta do so I can take care of my family, so I can handle my business, so I can have a roof over my head, so I can take care of my children. All right, but if it was up to me, I wouldn't do this. Right? Go ahead, King.
Biblical context. Hireling refers to someone who works solely for wages, lacking genuine care and commitment to the job or to those they serve.
See, so a lot of the times they're not doing it for the love or for the sincerity aspect, right? Again, their motivation is money, and a lot of the times, guess what they do? They'll even cut corners to get to that 8-hour mark or to the end of the shift, right? If nobody's supervising them and watching over them, right, they'll cut corners as long as nobody's seeing them, right, to keep their job or their position or what have you, right? And I want to liken this to, babysitters. How many times have we seen on the news or on YouTube or something like that where people have dropped their children off to a babysitter, right? Shalom, shalom. All right. How many times have we seen it on the news, in the media, social media, YouTube, whatever the case may be, where a parent has dropped their child off, right? And then you get these instances where the children are getting beat, hit, left unattended to, all kind of other issues where people take advantage of children, right? Versus, all kind of abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, versus the parent taking care of that child. It's a big difference, right? So that love is going to be there when the parent is taking care of the child and everything that the child needs, the discipline, the correction, and everything else that goes with that, right? But a hireling on the other end, a nanny, somebody that's just watching the child, right? It's going to be a lack of love. It's going to be a lack of care. It's not going to be like the parent. So I just wanted to bring that analogy out, and I thought that was the perfect situation in regards to babysitting. All right. Con. So we got a hireling. So let's see what it says in regards to what was the other? A shepherd. A shepherd.
So shepherd, one of the definitions is 7473 in the Hebrew, and it's derived from ra'ah, meaning to pasture or to tend. Then it says it's primarily used to denote a shepherd, one who tends, guides, and protects a flock of sheep. In a broader sense, it can also refer to someone who provides guidance and care, akin to a leader or caretaker.
Right. So you see that? A shepherd is a pastor or a leader or an overseer. All right? And a lot of the times when you get a shepherd, because everybody understands what husbandry is, right? And if you know anything about the nation of Israel, we have a background of being shepherds and having land and dealing with, husbandry, all right? Animals and all of those things, right? So a true shepherd is doing it for the love, all right? He's not doing it for the money. His passion and his intent are for things to be done sincerely. So that's on a natural level. When you deal with a spiritual level, obviously, a true shepherd, he's not doing it for filthy lucre, all right? More than not, he's called by the Most High God. So those are the kind of shepherds that we want to deal with and listen to and follow as they follow Christ, all right? So let's get 1 Corinthians 11 and 19.
The book of 1 Corinthians 11 and verse 19.
Uh-huh.
For there must be also heresies among you.
Right, because you got real men of the Lord, right? Real leaders, real prophets, okay? Real shepherds, and then you have false prophets, okay? That's the difference. So go ahead and read that again.
For there must be also heresies among you, that they which are approved may be made manifest among you.
So you can know the difference between those that are of the Most High and those who aren't of the Most High. Those who are approved are indeed of the Most High God, right? And the scriptures tell us, you shall know a tree by the fruit that it bears, all right? And it also tells us that we need to prove a friend. So within all of that, we can understand and eventually see who's the real deal and who's not, right? Because the Most High, he doesn't want us to be deceived. Con. So now let's go to, I have it here, right? Let's go to the book of Genesis 46. Genesis chapter 46. And we're going to pick up at verse 31. Genesis 46 and 31. Let's get a little history real quick. Go ahead.
The book of Genesis 46 and 31. And Joseph said unto his brethren.
Do everybody remember Joseph? Remember Joseph? His brothers sold him into slavery, right? Long story short, he became, in Egypt, he became second in command under Pharaoh, right? Everybody remember that backstory? All right, go ahead.
And Joseph said unto his brethren and unto his father's house, I will go up and show Pharaoh and say unto him, my brethren and my father's house, which were in the land of Canaan, are come unto me. And the men are shepherds.
And the men are what?
And the men are shepherds. For their trade have been to feed cattle.
See, their trade was to feed cattle, right? Their trade or their business occupation was to feed the cattle. Go ahead.
And they have brought their flocks and their herds and all that they have. And it shall come to pass when Pharaoh shall call you and shall say, what is your occupation? That ye shall say,
what they gonna say?
Thy servant's trade have been about cattle from our youth even until now.
That's all I need. Read that part again at the top of 34. What did they say once again?
Thy servant's trade have been about cattle from the youth even until now.
All right, everybody got that understanding? So that was Israel. The men, we dealt in our business occupation, in our trade, you know, generally speaking across the board, all right, as shepherds. And that's on a natural level, right? But we're going to get some understanding. Let's get 1 Samuel chapter 16. Because was it restricted to just on a natural level? Of course not. But let's get the book of 1 Samuel and see. Go ahead. 1 Samuel 16. Let's do 10.
The book of 1 Samuel 16 and verse 10. Again, Jesse made 7 of his sons to pass before Samuel.
Everybody remember this? All right. Samuel, he was looking at all of Jesse's sons, right? And he got through the first 7, right? And he said, you know what? This isn't the one, this isn't the one, this isn't the one, this isn't the one the Most High is looking for, right? So he said, you know what? I got one more son. Let's go take a look at him. But he's a youngin'. But go ahead.
Again, Jesse made 7 of his sons to pass before Samuel, and Samuel said unto Jesse, the Lord hath not chosen these. And Samuel said unto Jesse, are here all thy children? And he said, there remaineth yet the youngest. And behold, he keepeth the sheep.
What did he do?
He keepeth the sheep.
See, so that was his occupation, all right? David was doing what we do as Israelites. As a young man, he was being brought up in the things that we do as Israel, as men, right? Getting his hands dirty, keeping the cattle, feeding the sheep. Go ahead.
And Samuel said unto Jesse, send and fetch him, for we will not sit down till he come hither.
Go ahead.
And he sent and brought him in. Now he was ruddy and withal of a beautiful countenance and goodly to look to. And the Lord said, arise, anoint him, for this is he.
So not only was he a handsome young man, the scriptures say, but he had that spirit on him, right? He had the spirit of the Most High God on him. And Samuel was able to recognize that in an instant, right? And he said, you know what? This is the one right here. Right? Not the oldest, but the youngest. This is the one right here. So he was able to identify that. But go ahead and read verse 13.
Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brethren. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward. So Samuel rose up and went to Ramah.
Everybody got that? So see, we got an incident where David was a shepherd by trade, and he was called and anointed as shepherd and leader of Israel by the Most High God, right? He didn't anoint himself like some brothers do, right, nowadays around Israel, all right? But the Most High God anointed him, all right? So that's one of the first signs in regards to identifying, you know, a true shepherd of the Most High God, all right? Let's go to 1 Samuel 17. Flip over to the next chapter. Let's get a little detail. All right, 1 Samuel 17, let's pick up at 32. Watch this, go ahead.
1 Samuel 17 and 32. And David said unto Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him, thy servant will go and fight with the Philistine.
Right. So the backstory on this is what? Y'all remember David and Goliath, right? But it was a situation where fear fell upon Israel because we're dealing with a giant Philistine about 9 feet tall. And there was no man in Israel at this time brave enough to go against this guy. All right? David had a background of being what? A shepherd, though. So let's see how that works moving forward. Go ahead.
And Saul said unto David, thou art not able to go against this Philistine, to fight with him. For thou art but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth.
Right. So even Saul at this time, he's not looking in the spiritual eyes, right? He's looking at, okay, David, you real young, you real small, you about 125 pounds soaking wet. I don't know how this going to work out. All right. But let's see what the scripture says, though. Go ahead. Because David, he had a confidence in him, and we're going to see what it was about. Go ahead.
And David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep.
See, hey, he said, look, hold on. I know you don't think I'm qualified. You know, I'm a youngin. He was brought up in war. I understand, right? You don't want me to get hurt. But go ahead and read.
Thy servant kept his father's sheep.
But you don't remember. I kept my father's sheep. Go ahead.
And there came a lion and a bear
Uh-huh.
and took a lamb out of the flock.
Right. He said, you don't remember this story? I was keeping the sheep as a youngin. I was a teen, and the flock was attacked. This is what I did, though. He's reminding Saul. Go ahead.
And I went out after him and smote him.
He said, I went after him and killed him. All right, go ahead.
And delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard and smote him and slew him.
Could everybody imagine that right now? That's hard to believe, you know what I mean? Even though we're keeping the laws and we're Israelites, and it's hard to see people with this kind of faith, right? That's operating on this kind of level, you know, in the spirit of the Most High nowadays. Let's keep it a buck. Right. Am I right, though, Elder? Wouldn't it be hard to believe, even if you've seen it with your own eyes? You're like, whoa, is this the second coming of David or what? All right. But he's expressing this because he wants Saul to understand that I have the confidence to go against this giant. All right. But go ahead. Watch this.
Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them.
You see the confidence that he had? He said, look, I slew a bear and a lion. This guy right here is no different. Go ahead.
As one of them, seeing he had defied the armies of the living God.
Seeing he had defied the armies of the living God, talking trash to the children of Israel. Go ahead and read verse 37.
David said, moreover, the Lord hath delivered me out of the paw of the lion and of the paw of the bear, and will deliver me out of the hand of the Philistine.
See, and this is what he understood, all right? He didn't take credit. He made sure King Saul knew that everything that I just spoke of was done by the power of the Most High, and I was just a vessel, all right? And that's something that we need to remember moving forward. We're just a vessel, all right? And everything is on display for the Most High to get all the grace, all the credit, you know, all the obeisance that he deserves, right? But go ahead.
And Saul said unto David, go, and the Lord be with thee.
All right, so again, David was a true shepherd in every sense of the word. He understood the assignment, and more importantly, he was willing and ready to die for the sheep, right? So guess what? We see it in two senses, because he was willing and ready to die on a physical level when he was a physical shepherd dealing with the sheep and the cattle, all right? He had that test of a lion and a bear come, all right? He killed them, right? And then he, you know, was able to take the sheep out of their mouths. Now here it is, fast forward on the spiritual level, right? Here we go again, a shepherd in the spirit, right? About to be king, right? Right on the verge about to be the king, and then here he is again doing it on a spiritual level, ready to fight and die for his people and give up his life. All praises to the Most High God for that. All right? So now let's go to John chapter 10. John chapter 10. And just for edification purposes, everybody should already know who the good shepherd is, right? Who's the good shepherd? Yahweh Shai. We already know what it is, all right? So John 10, and we're just going to read 11 through 15. Go ahead.
John 10 and 11. I am the good shepherd.
See, this is the red whiting, right? Yahweh Shai, he's reminding us. He said, I am the good shepherd. Read.
The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep.
See, and that's the thing right there. Because a hireling, he's not going to give his life for the sheep, all right? The only life that he's looking for is life in his bank account, all right? Life in his pockets, all right? Draining the people. What can the people do for me? That's how a shepherd thinks, all right? How can I beguile the people? How can I take advantage of the flock, all right? That's how a hireling thinks, all right? But a shepherd is willing to give everything, even a shirt off his back, if need be, all right? But go ahead.
But he that is an hireling and not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming and leaveth the sheep, and fleeth. And the wolf catcheth them and scattereth the sheep. Scattereth the sheep.
But when David was on point, right, none of this happened. When the wolf came, when the bear came, when the lion came, he was ready, right? And he defended the sheep, all right, on a physical level and on a spiritual level, all right? Because these things connect. The spirit and the physical, they connect. They're always on one accord, all right? You can't move the body without the spirit, all right? Go ahead, verse 13.
The hireling fleeth, because he is an hireling, and careth not for the sheep.
And you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of all the hireling pastors during the COVID situation, all right, where they scattered the sheep and left the flock, all right? The doors weren't open for the people to come and deal with the so-called pastor, right? These pastors were in the confines of their own home, looking out for their own families, right? That's a sign right there, sis. I mean, come on now. Seeing is believing, right? Not one of them, not T.D. Jakes, not Joel Osteen. I don't call all the big names. It doesn't matter who you name, all right? What's the brother, the big time church on Crenshaw? Bishop Blake. Price, it don't matter who it was. They were looking out for themselves because they were hirelings, right? And the only thing they wanted to make sure that you were doing was cash shopping or zelling your tithes in, all right? All right? And once or twice a week, you'll get a little Zoom lesson. But you weren't able to fellowship and see them and so... there it was. Those are perfect examples of hirelings. All right? Go ahead and read 14.
I am the good shepherd, and known my sheep, and I am known of mine.
He says, so I know my sheep, and my sheep know me, right? Go ahead and read 15, the last one.
As the Father knoweth me, even so I, the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep.
So there it is again. He say, I lay down my life for the sheep, all right? And when you got a brother that's willing to do that, you got brothers that are willing to do that, leaders, bishops, shepherds, and they're being a true example more so than, because it's easy to talk a good game, right? But again, being that example, that's more powerful than anything that you can say because you're saying all that needs to be said with your conversation, how you act, how you move, right? So, again, Yahweh Shai being a good shepherd, we don't need to go through all his heroics and all his sacrifice because we already know. But I did want to highlight David, and then we already know even Yahweh Shai surpassing David easily and effortlessly, obviously, is the best example of the good shepherd, all right? Moving forward, let's get Job chapter 7. And we're going to pick up at verse 1. Job chapter 7, verse 3, though. 1 through 3. Yep. So, Israel is a nation of people that we pay attention to everything. All right, and if you lock in and really pay attention, there's not too many things that are gonna pass under your nose where you're not aware of. You know what I'm saying? All right. Even Israel on a wicked and chrono level, they understand what's going on and they very aware and they know the real deal from the fake. You know what I mean? So how much more of us, even in the spirit? All right, because things are gonna be evident over a period of time. It's only so long where you can fake a facade, right, Mama? So just be aware, Israel. All right. So let's get Job 7:1-3. All right. We're gonna deal with just a hireling on a general level. All right, because if we keep it a buck, we're all hirelings on a general level. We've all been hired to work, right, on a general level. We're not the hireling that I was talking about as far as, pastors who mislead the flock, but on a general level, we all work for money to survive, huh? All right, so let's get a little insight on that. Job 7:1-3. Go ahead.
Book of Job 7:1. Is there not an appointed time to man upon earth? Are not his days also like the days of an hireling?
He said, is there not an appointed time to man upon the earth? Of course there is, and the Most High knows each and every one of our appointed times, right? And it says, are not his days also like the days of an hireling? All right? Because hirelings, the work can be gruesome. It can be tiring. All right? It can be taxing a lot of times, all right, to make a living. Am I right? All right? I got to work 5 or 6 days, right, just to get a check next week. And even some people get paid every other week. So how much more is that when the scriptures say that one should, what does the law say about being paid? If I do work, I'm supposed to get paid at the end of the day, according to the scriptures. But what does our enemy do here in Babylon? All right? Some of us wait 2 weeks. All right? And even some situations, you get a salary. Some people get paid once a month. All right? And so how does that work when all these bills and all these situations coming up, all right? We got kids, we need food, all right? Inflation is on the rise, all right? We got Trump, all these tariffs and stuff going on. He didn't lie to us about that. Oh, it's not gonna affect you guys. It's only gonna affect the big boys. Well, that was a lie, all right? Here I go expecting 2 or 3 stimulus checks again. I ain't got the first one yet. Like the last time, something's going wrong. Right? So, things is out of order in Babylon, man. But but it's a shame that one would have to wait a week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks to get your pay though, right, Elder? That's a shame and a sham, all right? But go ahead, verse 2.
As a servant earnestly desireth the shadow.
You heard that? What is that shadow? That shadow is rest. That shadow is rest. Read that again.
As a servant earnestly desireth the shadow.
Right, because I'm tired of working, all right? But go ahead.
And as an hireling looketh for the reward of his work.
Man, a hireling, I'm looking to get paid, all right? I got 2 more weeks. Man, all right, how I'm going to survive? I got to borrow money. I got to go to the check cashing place and get a check cashing loan. Israel has done all of these things, all right? Am I right, Israel? We've done it at one point or another, right? No shame here. It's just a reality, right? But read verse 3.
So am I made to possess months of vanity, and wearisome nights are appointed to me.
Right. So generally speaking, across the board, you're dealing with a hireling, all right? This life of a hireling on a general level, even for us, there's suffering in it, there's misery in it, and it's burdensome a lot of the times, all right? So now let's go to Sirach 7 and 10. Let's deal with the spiritual aspect. Sirach 7 and 10. Sirach or Ecclesiastes.
The book of Sirach 7 and verse 10.
Go ahead. Wait, Salakia. That's wrong. Is it 17? Hold on. Salakia, 37. I made a mistake. Sirach 37, 10, and 11.
The book of Sirach 37 and verse 10. Consult not with one that suspecteth thee, and hide thy counsel from such as envy thee.
All right. So there's some wisdom right there. It says, consult not with one that suspecteth thee, right? So when you know that a brother or sister has an evil suspicion against you, right? I wouldn't deal with that brother or sister in regards to gaining advice or counsel from them. All right, does that make sense? All right, go ahead and read again.
Consult
Wait, and hide counsel from such as envy thee. Meaning, look, you can't go to everybody with your problems and your situations. You know what I'm saying? All right, the scriptures tell us that we need to have one counselor in 1,000. All right, so either one or a group of people or leadership or whoever the Most High put on your heart, but make sure that they're walking this walk and they're a good example and they don't gossip and pillow talk and all of these kind of things. All right. But consult not with one that suspecteth thee, and hide thy counsel from such as envy thee. All right. You're not going to go and tell a hater your business. You're not going to go and tell somebody who despises you your business, right? Because now your business is everybody's business. All right? So that's the wisdom in that. But go ahead and read 11.
Neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous.
Right. So, even in regards to this, a woman consulting with another woman or a brother, right? Of whom you're jealous of, all right? That's off limits. Go ahead.
Neither with a coward in matters of war.
Why would I consult with a coward in a matter of war? Read on. This is all wisdom from the scriptures. Go ahead.
Nor with a merchant concerning exchange.
All right. Why? Because if I'm a merchant, I maintain the things that I need for my business. And these things they're for sale, but they're not for exchange. All right. If I'm dealing in this trade or this business and you dealing in something else, I don't need to, you know what I'm saying? I need to keep the things that are according to what I work with and what I sell. All right. But go ahead.
Nor with a buyer of selling.
Right.
Nor with an envious man of thankfulness.
Nor
with an unmerciful man touching kindness.
That's something else. Go ahead.
Nor with the slothful for any work.
Hey, would you hire a slothful man for work? Would you consult with with a slothful man for work? Heck no. All right, go ahead.
Nor with an hireling for a year of finishing work.
You see that? Nor with an hireling for a year of finishing work. Because guess what? The work won't get finished. All right? But go ahead.
Nor with an idle servant of much business. Hearken not unto these in any matter of counsel.
So don't listen to these kinds of people in regards to seeking advice or receiving counsel from them. All right? I had to read that whole thing, though, right? Because in regards to the hireling for a year of finishing work. All right? A lot of the times, man, people get gypped in certain, the construction business is another one where brothers go and, they work and they either get underpaid or they get gypped all in general, you know what I mean? Or the other way around, you could have a house or property and have construction people come and, they'll get you, man. You pay them an X amount up front, you'll never see them again, all right? And these things have happened. This is a true story. Yep, you know what I'm saying? So, and they really take advantage of Israel that may be elderly or by themselves, and it's a sad story. But we live in a dog eat dog world. Everybody's out for themselves. All right. So there's hirelings on many levels, not just on a spiritual level, being a teacher in Israel or a pastor or a leader, right? But on a whole lot of levels. All right. Let's go to the book of Isaiah 56. Isaiah chapter 56, and we're going to start at verse 9.
The book of Isaiah 56 and 9. All ye beasts of the field come to devour. Yea, all ye beasts in the forest.
So these beasts right here are talking about the other nations in regards to dealing with Israel, right? Because we sinned against the Most High God, all right? So the Most High God said, I'm going to give you over to the nations and allow them to take advantage of you, all right? Go ahead, watch.
Verse 10. His watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark, sleeping, laying down, loving to slumber.
Right. And in regards to warning the people, all right, you will never see a Sunday Christian pastor warn the people of anything, all right? All you're going to get is that same message with smooth words, that prosperity gospel. You never get warned of anything. The only warning that you're going to get is the warning that if you don't pay your tithes, God is going to get you. That's the only warning you're going to get. But as touching and concerning your soul and keeping the law and the commandments and salvation, you get none of that. Okay? But if you don't sow your seed here, you got a problem with God. All right? Go, hey, verse 11.
Yea, they are greedy dogs.
Pastor Pork Chop is a what?
They are greedy dogs.
Read.
Which can never have enough.
They can never have enough, man. A lot of these pastors have amassed so much money over the 20 or 30 years that they've been pastoring. Imagine that. And a lot of them get put in a smaller tax bracket. Why? Because they pervert the gospel. They don't tell you the truth. All right? And for lying, they get kickbacks, right? They get kickbacks from, the higher ups and their leaders and things of that nature, and they're able to keep a lot of that money tax free. All right, and that's why they live as wealthy as they do, high on the hog. Millionaires. A lot of them are millionaires. If they're not millionaires, guess what? They're all a lot more well off than you are. You better believe that. All right, and they during COVID, they lived really, really well. They didn't have to depend on the Social Security or the unemployment check or the the government relief like you did. You best believe that. They were able to go to that solid bank account and say, hey, this is what we've been doing. We're good this year, baby. Right? So, best believe it is what it is. Right? Mama Pork Chop was, she was still able to get her matching hat with the suit, man. With the little flower at the top, the whole nine. The best, $50 handkerchiefs laying on her lap. All right, they go ahead. Mm-hmm.
On the porch and don't look. And in the morning be filled up with everything they want. Lord, keeping us in the dark.
See? Yeah, so it's a true story, man. True story. Yep. It's a shame, though. It's a shame, but the Most High has something for them, though. All right? So let's start at the top of 11 again, Isaiah 56 and 11. Go ahead.
Yea, they are greedy dogs, which can never have enough. And they are shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way, everyone for his gain from his quarter.
From his own quarter, from his own household, from his own view. All right? Read verse 12.
Come ye, say they, I will fetch wine, and we will fill ourselves with strong drink.
Come on over. I got you, man. We going to drink a little something. Read.
And tomorrow shall be as this day, and much more abundant.
Right, and we're going to keep doing it again and again and again, right? All right, but guess what? If you need something for an apartment, if you need something for, a house, if you need something for a medical bill, a vehicle, I dare you to go ask pastor and watch what kind of response you get. All right? He gonna look at you like you crazy. All right? All right? And that's a true saying, you know. And if you don't believe me, you go and try it. If you still in the Christian church, go try it. You can talk about all the money you didn't, you know, gave, and you can come with a checklist of everything that you've done. But you're going to be sadly mistaken. All right? And that's just the way it is, man. All right? Yep, that's it with that. So let's get Zechariah 11. Zechariah 11, chapter 4. He'll definitely disappoint you indeed. I remember back in my church days, it was, and I was even surprised at this. I'm not sure if my wife remembered, but it was a Sunday night, and a widow came, and he was made aware that she wasn't a member, but it was a widow in the house, and he helped, but he did it grievously. He took up an offering. And made sure that everything went to the sister, but he told her that this is a one-time, basically, don't come back. All right? And, you know, I was a young man, and I was, you know, I picked up on it, and, you know, I picked up on that, man. I remember everything, you know, pretty much word for word that pastor ever said that was significant. But I remember, yep, he told her, we got you, sis, and she a widow, and, you know, the Bible says this, and, you know, it's funny how they do everything around the law. They won't do the law, but they'll feed the homeless, right? They'll give a little something to the widow. They'll do little things, but they not finna go all out. And the things that they do, like he said, it's gonna be all for show anyway, right? So, yeah, but we got you, sister, but this is only gonna happen one time. So that was a cold thing. But Zechariah 11, 4 and 5. Go ahead.
The book of Zechariah 11 and 4. Thus saith the Lord my God, feed the flock of the slaughter.
So the Most High is telling the real shepherds, all right, go shepherd the flock that's marked for slaughter, all right? I need real men to start leading and teaching my people. Why? Read verse 5.
Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty.
Right. Because at the end of the day, they don't have any remorse for you or your family or your kids, right? Their possessors slay them, all right? They possess us, right? And they kill us softly, all right? On a financial level, on a spiritual level. Go ahead.
And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich.
I'm rich, read.
And their own shepherds pity them not.
Right. And are supposed to be leaders, they don't even have any compassion for the people, right? Your Jesse Jacksons and your supposedly black leaders, your what's the skinny one where he real skinny down with the little your Al Sharpton, you know, all your supposed black leaders in the community, all right, that you never hear from when we see the gun violence, all right, amongst one another, all right. The only time you hear them is when it's time for a possible payday, all right? But when we had all these different situations where Israelites, you know, are either, you know, killed or the brother Bird who was, you know, had the rope tied around his neck and then back to the back of the truck. Yeah, you remember that in Texas years ago, right? Or the other young brother who got found in the gym of his high school wrapped in a mat, all right? And then when you see the tape, at the end of the tape, they were after school, and they went in a little corner, and you could tell the tape got chopped, all right? And then now the next morning, the brother is wrapped up in a wrestling mat, vertically dead, like, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, so all these things, you know what I'm saying, where our people, what was the other one? What was his name? Trayvon Martin, and, you know, and so on and so forth, you know. I'm missing all the names, but all of these instances, man, where our people, you know, are becoming victims, right? You don't hear any of the pastors saying anything then. None of these hirelings have anything to say then, all right? So how could they be the real true shepherds of the Most High God, right? when you're silent in the most important times. That's a shame. I almost said it, but that's a shame. And I was looking over there to see Moms. Moms was looking, but I almost said it. But it's a doggone shame. Yep. 2 Peter chapter 2. 2 Peter chapter 2, 1 through 3.
The book of 2 Peter 2 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you.
Everybody got that? It is what it is, all right? Even in Israel, all right? Even in Israel. I'm not just talking about those on TBN and your Sunday pastors. Even within Israel, even the shalom, even with the fringes, even with the beard, there are false prophets, teachers, and leaders among you. Go ahead.
Who privily shall bring in damnable heresies.
Damnable teachings that don't make any sense, that don't line up with the scriptures, all right? That have no place in Israel, let alone being taught as God's word. But go ahead.
Even denying the Lord that bought them. And
Excuse me, go ahead.
even denying the Lord that bought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction.
How are they denying the Lord that brought them, right? Yahushua Christ, he paid the price, right? Didn't he shed his blood for Israel? All right, so how are you going to become OT only all of a sudden? And talk about you don't believe in JC. I don't believe in his son. I deal with directly the Most High now. All right? Just in case y'all didn't know, there are Israelites, all right, in this walk who don't believe in Christ. That makes no sense. All right? You're on your way to the lake. You're on your way to the lake of fire, period. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. The scriptures tell you many times that if you don't accept the Father, you don't accept the Son. If you don't accept the Son, you don't accept the Father, period. So there's no way around it. Did you want to add anything up? Shame, though, all right? Go ahead. Verse 2.
2 Peter 2 and 2. And many shall follow their pernicious ways by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of.
Right, so those kind of ways are destructive ways, all right? Wicked ways. And many shall follow their wicked ways. And the scriptures tell us about that in regards to how the blind leading the blind, right? If you're a member, so to speak, and you're following a leader or leaders that are leading people astray, then you're going to be led astray. All right, period. Go ahead. It's going to be on you. Go ahead. Yeah, verse 2.
And many shall follow their pernicious ways by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of.
Right, and there's a lot of our people who think that we're in a cult. All right, even Paul had to deal with that. All right, you're in a cult, it doesn't make any sense. So the truth is being evil spoken of. The actual way to the Most High God, Salakia, excuse me, it's being evil spoken of. Go ahead.
And through covetousness shall they with feigned words make merchandise of you.
Right, so feigned words are false words. All right, lies. Go ahead.
Whose judgment now of a long time lingereth not, and their damnation slumbereth not.
So the end all be all is going to be that destruction for them, all right? They won't be able to continue to do this for much longer, all right? The Most High, he's going to stop their mouth, all right, from destroying his people. So, again, beware of the false prophets, teachers, and leaders in Israel, all right? Let's get Acts chapter 20, verse 28. Acts chapter 20, verse 28. And we're dealing with the hirelings right now. We're almost done.
The book of Acts 20 and verse 28.
Uh-huh.
Take heed therefore unto yourselves, and to all the flock over the which the Holy Ghost hath made you overseers.
Uh-huh.
To feed the church of the Most High.
No, to deceive them.
To feed the church of the Most High.
Uh-huh.
Which he hath purchased with his own blood.
Read.
For I know this, that after my departing shall grievous wolves enter in among you, not sparing the flock.
You see that? After Paul set up these churches, he gave the churches a warning. He said, watch when I leave, watch what's going to happen. Everything that I taught you, everything that I showed you, every example that I gave you, right, is going to be somebody that's going to come and say different, do different, and teach different, all right? It happened then and it's happening right now, all right? All right, but we had that warning. All praises to the Most High. The Most High, he's such a wonderful God because he said, I'm going to always warn you before the destruction comes, right? He'll never leave us blind, but go ahead.
Also of yourselves shall men arise, speaking perverse things, to draw away disciples after them.
To draw away disciples after them, all right? Situations happening in Israel right and left, all right? Exposures, and then all of a sudden the person that exposed, oh, he's starting a new church. Now we got a new congregation in Israel on the rise. All of a sudden. So a lot of things aren't done, not only aren't they done decently and in order, but they're done for different motives and different intent. Things aren't always done in sincerity and in truth, all right? And when you see a new congregation pop up in Israel, you need to investigate. Who do they stem from? Who, you know what I'm saying? Start doing your history. Where did the leader come from? Who did he used to be with? All right? Investigate. Prove all things. But go ahead.
Verse 31. Therefore watch and remember that by the space of 3 years I cease not to warn everyone night and day with tears.
See, so that's Paul right there because he understood the, all the work that he put in, that somebody would try to come behind and undo it, all right? So he warned, he said, look, for 3 years I've been warning y'all, all right? I've been warning you for 3 years, all right? So with that much of a warning in advance, when these kind of things happen, our people supposed to be ready. You're supposed to be able to look at things in your spiritual eyes and understand what's going on, all right? And if not, then go to the Most High in prayer and ask him to reveal it for you, all right? But we had that warning, though, all right? And that warning is very, very, very important. So Paul was a true shepherd. He loved the people. He loved the sheep, all right? And he gave the sheep that warning, all right? Let's go to Jeremiah 23 real quick. We're going to read 1 through 4. So the title of the lesson is called Shepherds, Not Hirelings. We're not dealing with the hirelings, but only the true shepherds of the Most High that are sent by the Most High God himself. All right. Go ahead.
The book of Jeremiah 33 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto...
Salakia, 23 verse 1. My apologies, Doc. My apologies.
The book of Jeremiah 23 and verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pastures.
So he said, destruction that be unto the pastors or the leaders that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pastor, saith who?
The Lord.
Saith the Most High, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right? You see what happened to Eddie Long, man. All right? Everybody remember what happened to Eddie Long? It was recent enough. Remember how big he used to be? Most High shriveled him up. Yeah, he was real buff. But you see how he went out, though? Okay, then. So, and what do Ecclesiastes chapter 8, 11 through 13 tell us? All right, let's go there and then come back here. Because I want to make a point, right? Because you know what? It seems like they prosper and they're able to do their wickedness for such a long time. And I know a lot of us, we like, we're hesitant. We don't want to, because the Most High sees it. And we don't want to be like, hey, Father, like, damn, you letting this nigga still, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, that be in my spirit sometimes, and I know it's in your spirit a lot of the times. Like, Father, how long are you going to keep letting this, but then you don't want to offend or tempt the Most High, right? So I stay in my place, but I be like, man, like, it seemed like the evil prosper for a long time. Like the wicked just continues to do wicked, right, sis? Like, man, Father, cut him down. But watch this. We're going to come back to Jeremiah 23. Go ahead and read this.
The book of Ecclesiastes 8 and verse 11.
Uh-huh.
Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily.
Just because the judgment is not executed speedily, read on.
Therefore, the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil.
See, they say, oh, I'm getting away with it. Well, let me keep on. All right. And they continue to do these things, right? You had so many young men come out. It seemed like after the first one was bold enough to tell his story with Eddie Long, I mean, it was like 5 to 10 more after that. And these young men begin to tell these stories, man, over years, man, about how this brother, had them in the office and tried to mentor them and started off with this. That's wickedness, man. That oh my God. All praises to the Most High for his judgment, though. All praises to the Most High for his judgment and uncovering wickedness like this, man. Like, and God, and that, hey, very prevalent in the Catholic Church. And the Most High is going to destroy you pastors, you so-called priests, and whoever's doing things like this. You be ready for your destruction as well, all right? And it's not going to tarry too much longer because the Most High, he's getting tired of this. But the scripture says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the hearts of the Son of Men is fully set in them to do evil. Because guess what? If they were getting put to death left and right, sooner than later, they'd be stopping. All the others would fear and stop, right? But the Most High, you know what, his way is perfect. I'm not going to question it. He knows exactly what he's doing, right? Go ahead and read 12.
Though a sinner do evil an 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear the Most High.
Right, so we just going to leave it at that, Let the Most High do his business. He knows the perfect timing and the perfect judgment when to catch them slipping, right? Let's focus on righteousness over here and doing what we need to do to fear the Most High God so we can be straight, so we can be all right. Con? All right, so now let's go back to Jeremiah 23. Con, we could, 2 is fine. No. You know what? Yeah, 2 is fine.
Jeremiah 23 and verse 2. Therefore thus saith the Lord God of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people, ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, saith the Lord.
Right, so you have not visited the people. You don't care about the people, but guess what? I'm going to pay you a visit, all right? Because sincere care and love for the people, it takes work. It takes work to text, to call, to check on people. That's work. All right? And only somebody sincere is going to do that. You can't fake that kind of work right there. All right? Because it's real, sincere work of the Most High God. All right? And the Most High God honors that. All right? Verse 3.
And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries, whither I have driven them, and will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase.
Because there's a time coming, and we're in the beginning stages of that time where the Most High is gathering his flocks together, right? And he's going to put them in a better space, in a better position, right? Their mind going to get right, all right? All of the things that used to hold them back, all of their fears, all of the things that so easily beset them from sin to past trauma, all of those things are going to shed, and they're going to be in position to serve the Most High in spirit and in the truth better than ever, all right? With a sound mind, all right? That's, all praise, clap it up for that, because that's what our people need. We reaching that healing stage and understanding who we belong to, all right? Read 4.
And I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them.
Right, so the Most High, he said, guess what? I'm going to give you shepherds according to my will, all right? I'm finna eliminate all these booty pastors, all these pastor po-chops, everybody that's in it for themselves, and I'm gonna set up real leaders that's gonna teach and be an example to you to do things the right way. Go ahead.
And I will set up shepherds over them which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, saith the Lord.
Right, and they're not gonna lack in any area. All right, Jeremiah 3 and 14. Jeremiah 3, 14, and 15.
The book of Jeremiah 3 and 14. Turn, O backsliding children, saith the Lord, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you unto Zion.
Right. So generally speaking, one of a city, two of a family. That's going to be the average across Israel. All right. All right. That's that remnant that we're dealing with. Go ahead.
And I will give you pastors according to mine heart.
Read that again.
And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding.
Which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. All right. Not just try to pump your head up and tell you anything and, lie to you and deceive you and beguile you. All right. Those days are over with. We got true men of the Lord that are going to be standing before the people in these last days, leading you to the Most High, showing you how to repent and serve the Most High in spirit and in truth by way of his son, Yahweh Shai. All right. Men that actually fear the Lord, that actually fear being put to death if they mislead you. That's what you're going to get, Israel. So that's what you should be looking forward to, all right? Malachi 2 and 7. The book of Malachi 2 and 7. All right.
The book of Malachi 2 and verse 7.
You know what? Scratch that. Let me get John 21 and 15. My apologies. John 21 and 15 through 17.
The book of John 21 and verse 15. It reads, So when they had dined, Yahushua said to Simon Peter.
Right, so Yahushua said this to Peter. What did he say?
Simon, son of Jonah, lovest thou me more than these?
Hey, do you love me? Do you love me more than these? Go ahead, watch this.
16. He saith unto him, Yea, Lord.
15.
Oh, Salah. He saith unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He saith unto him, Feed my lambs.
Do what?
Feed my lambs.
He said, Thou knowest that I love thee. And he said, Feed my lambs. Read again. 16. Go ahead.
He said to him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonah, lovest thou me?
Lovest thou me? Read.
He said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee.
You know I love you.
He saith unto him, Feed my sheep.
Now, if somebody says something 2 times in a row, they really, really, really mean what they say. And they really, really know you need, they want to understand that you know what they're saying. All right? But watch verse 17. Read.
He saith unto him the third time, Simon.
How many times?
Third time.
3 times. Read.
Simon, son of Jonah, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time.
Just like your child would be grieved with you. Like, dang, I just said, yeah, twice. Mom, dad, you know what I'm saying? Why you asking me again? All right, it grieved his spirit. But, hey, Yahushua knew what he was doing. Put some emphasis on it. Go ahead.
Lovest thou me?
Do you love me?
And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee.
You already know. Read.
Yahushua said unto him, Feed my sheep.
And that's what we're supposed to do as the leaders and true shepherds of the Most High God. We're supposed to be feeding the sheep, all right? And it's ironic. What's the name of the segment that we have every Saturday? True Nation, Israelite Congregation, closing Sabbath class. It's called Feed the Sheep, all right? So Bishop Tazawan, he got an idea. He understands these scriptures. He know what it's about. You know what I'm saying? All praises to the Most High God. We're going to feed the sheep here at True Nation Israelite Congregation. All right? So if you're looking for that bread of life, all right, if you're thirsty in the spirit and you need that living water, come on over here to True Nation and join us for our Sabbath class at 4:30. All right? We'd love to have you. All right? My invitation from me to you. All right? But feed the sheep, okay? That's another sign. If a so-called leader or pastor is not feeding the sheep, guess what? He bootleg. He's not a real leader. He's not a real teacher. He's not a real pastor, all right? And it's a certain thing that you need to feed, right? Because if you continue to feed a child, all right, candy and sugar and chips and soda pop, is there any nourishment in that? No. All right, so if these fake pastors, these Sunday church pastors continue to feed our people BS and lies and smooth words, that's not doing anything for the people. That's why the people continue in the same condition that they came in, all right? They always leave the way they came, all right? Spiritually malnourished, all right? They come an adulterer and they leave as an adulterer, all right? They come in as a fornicator straight from the club last night and they leave as a fornicator. They don't leave repentant, even though they walk to the altar, even though they repeat that little speech that the pastor say, repeat after me. All of that BS and all that rhetoric, right? And no change, right? They even get dipped in the water and baptized, huh? And they come up a wet sinner. What's going on? You're not feeding the people the right thing. So let's see what we need to feed the people. Malachi 2:7. Watch this.
The book of Malachi 2 and verse 7. For the priest's lips.
For the priest's lips, because a priest is also a leader or a teacher, all right? We knew the priest pertained to the Levites, right? The sons of Aaron specifically. You guys remember that, right? For the priest's lips, but now, all right, since we know Yahushua to be the king, since he died, all right, shed his blood and so on and so forth, we know that we're a nation of what? Priests and kings, right? According to not only Exodus 19:5 and 6, but it's also in the New Testament as well. All right. And I'm going to get that. Not yet, though. But read verse 7 again.
For the priest's lips should keep knowledge.
They should keep knowledge, right? Read.
And they should seek the law at his mouth.
So what should the people be seeking at the priest or the leader or the teacher's mouth?
And they should seek the law at his mouth.
The laws of God, the laws of the Most High God, the rules and regulations of the Most High God, the instructions of the Most High God, what to do to draw closer to him, to repent, to get salvation, right? And the things that you shouldn't do. And if you do the things that you shouldn't do, there's called judgments, all right? So we need to be teaching his laws, his statutes, his commandments, his testimonies, his ordinances, his oracles, right? All of that. And if not, then we teach you his judgments. If you refuse to do that, if you rebel against the commandment, then this is what you get, Israel. That's what the people need to be seeking. So read that one more time.
For the priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth. For he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts.
Right, for he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts. 1 Peter chapter 5, 1 through 4. So feed the sheep the laws of the Most High God. That's what we feeding the sheep, all right? That bread of understanding, all right? That, I'm going to pull that after this.
No, I'm saying why not?
Why not? Yeah, let's do it now. Salakia, Israel. We're going to go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 1. Let's start at, wait. You sure 6?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
The Wisdom of Solomon 6, verse 1. Hear therefore, O ye kings, and understand. Learn ye that be judges of the ends of the earth. Give ear, ye that rule the people, and glory in the multitude of nations. For the power is given you of the Lord, and sovereignty from the highest, who shall try your works and search out your counsels. Because being ministers of his kingdom, ye have not judged aright, nor kept the law, nor walked after the counsel of the Most High. Horribly and speedily shall he come upon you, for a sharp judgment shall be to them that be in the high places.
Man, so understand, there's a scripture that says, to whom much is given, much is required, all right? And as a leader, it is what it is, all right? And it's not a burden. The Most High just thought that, hey, he thought your shoulders were broad enough to handle your own cross and your own burdens and the cross and burdens of others as well, all right? He thought that much of you. So as leaders, whether it be men or women, this is the judgment that we hold, all right? The thing is, on one side, the blessing could be much greater, but the judgment is much worse when we err or fall short, all right? Everybody understand? All right, all praises to the Most High God. So now let's go back to 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 1.
Book of 1 Peter 5 and verse 1.
Okay.
The elders which are among you I exhort, who am also an elder, and a witness of the sufferings of Christ, and also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed.
So not just the elders, but the leaders, right? Understanding us shepherding the flock of the Most High the right way, in righteousness, leading by example, all right? Go ahead. The title means nothing if you're not doing it according to righteousness. Go ahead and read.
Feed the flock.
Do what?
Feed the flock of the Most High which is among you.
Okay.
Taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly.
Right. Not grudgingly, all right, but willingly. Understanding the nature of what you signed up for. Or not even what you signed up for, what the Most High God has called you for, all right? Because that's what we're dealing with. Not what you signed up for, but what you've been called up, you know. The Most High is calling you, all right? A calling means that you didn't call yourself, all right? The Most High called you. And that's really going to be the difference between a shepherd and a hireling, all right? But go ahead.
Not by constraint, but willingly. Not by filthy lucre, but of a ready mind. Neither as being lords over God's heritage, but being examples to the flock.
See, and that's the balance right there, all right? Not being overbearing, like you talking to children or like you got all kids up in here, disrespecting families and husbands and wives and mothers and, you know, leaders in households and things of that nature, but understanding that, you know, leadership is a balance. Like, you know, you can be firm to an extent, you know, depending on your personality, but more importantly, you have to be sincere, all right? And the people see right through you. They know if you really care about them. They know if you're sincere. They done already checked out your walk. They already know if you with it or if you're not. So you're not going to be able to be up in front of the people of the Most High God playing games for long without getting checked or without getting your coattail pulled, right? So neither is being lords over the Most High's heritage, but being examples to the flock, because that's the best thing that's your teaching and your preaching right there, all right? How you get down, how you move, how you deal with people, right? More so than the lessons, right? Because people, the heck with the lessons if you're not operating right. Because at that point, people, they not even trying to hear you, all right? You can come with the best sermons and the best lessons and the best precepts and all that. But if you're not walking how you talking, it don't even matter. Am I right, King? It don't even matter. All right? So let's get verse 4.
And when the chief shepherd shall appear.
And when the chief shepherd, Yahweh Shai, the good shepherd, read.
And when the chief shepherd shall appear, ye shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away.
That's what I'm trying to look forward to right there. That crown of glory that's mentioned in 2nd Ezra chapter 2, verses 38 to 42. all right, when that young man of a high stature, which is Yahweh Shai, all right, in the spirit, understanding that he's going to crown Israel, those who have stood so stiffly for the word of the Most High God. And I find that, man, I like those. I like that saying, that stood so stiffly. You know what I'm saying? In a world of opposition, though, because we going against the grain in this world, right? We're doing everything to go against the grain. We're outcasts in this world, all right? The things that we're teaching and doing, it's not popular, all right? It's popular to us. It's our culture. It's our heritage. So we should be doing these things. But you think Hollywood want to hear about the Feast of Tabernacles? You think they want to hear about Passover? They not trying to, you know what I'm saying, knuckle down and do this. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, even Denzel. How many seen what Denzel did more recently? He turned 70 years old and he said his grandma prophesied to him, right, King? You know, and 50 years later on the dot, now he's 70, now he's, you know, he got baptized and now he is Sunday preacher. You know what I'm saying? And I would think one like Israel, Denzel Washington, he should know, like, bro, you know, I think you know better than that. Yeah, I didn't even know about that. But all the, you know, just over the years, all of the foolery and things of these nature, all the roles and the belittling of himself in these movies, and put the Most High on the back burner all these years, and now all of a sudden, you know, I thought you would choose right now. You know what I'm saying? But man, by all, he got his leaders too, man. You feel me? A gang of them, man. False prophets, man. All right, let's get John 15 and 13, and we're going to end it with this. 15 and 13. So another example, because I gave y'all 2 examples. Remember the King David example? When he wasn't king yet, he was on it, but he was in the process of being king. Understood, you know what I'm saying, what this was all about. Giving us life for the sheep, right? Reading the words of Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai gave his life for the sheep, right? He was a shepherd. Check this out. A true shepherd is going to give his life for the sheep. All right? On all levels, though, elder. You know what I'm saying? On all levels. Watch this. Go ahead.
The book of John 15 and verse 13. Greater love hath no man than this, than that a man lay down his life for his friends.
That's red letter right there. That's the words of Yahweh Shai. All right? He never spoke in vain. He actually did that. And the colder thing about it, because you got Negroes in Israel. Hey, have you heard? I know you heard it because you've been in this walk longer than I have. Hey, I'm dying for one. I mean, you've heard that before, right? Yeah, I'm dying for you. What? Dying for this Negro. If you can't live for God while you alive, nigga, how are you gonna die for the, you know what I'm saying? How are you gonna give up your life and die for the Most High? You can't even live for the Most High while you alive. You can't even get to walk right yet. So it's when you hear these kind of things, it's, you know, it's burdensome. But King David and Yahweh Shai, they understood that. You know what I'm saying? Because before I believe somebody gonna actually die for me, you feel me? Brother, live for me. Let's live for this truth. You know what I'm saying? That's what we gotta do. So, you know, just keeping that in mind, understanding, you know, the true shepherds of the Most High versus these hirelings, man. May the Most High bring more, you know, workers and true servants, leaders and teachers in this walk for Israel to follow. With that, I'm going to say shalom.
If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'll be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me.
So good to me.
Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yeah, how it's been good to me.
So good to me.
Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me.
So good to me.
Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yeah, how it's been good to me.
So good to me.
Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me.